Everyone, I just want to talk about how to start putting yourself out there, because obviously you want to put yourself out there since you clicked on this video. Maybe you feel overwhelmed, you don't know where to start, you feel anxious and nervous, you feel like your parents or your cousins or your siblings will judge you. I've been through it all. And let me tell you, it's a process. But I want to share a couple of gems that I learned in that process as a creative being. Sharing your creations is going to be a very vulnerable thing. You're just opening yourself up to criticism. Just unsolicited opinions and advice and but honestly, most of the opinions will be good. I mean, I've been through it myself where I was really afraid of other people's opinions and other people judging me, and I guess especially my family, because those are the people I kind of grew up with. And since I've decided to embody more of myself, it feels very vulnerable since I don't necessarily embody my full self around them. So putting myself out there in this way is scary. I don't know if you can relate to this necessarily, but coming from an Asian household, I live a pretty unconventional life compared to how my parents grew up culturally. So there's all that stuff. You came here because you have an idea for a YouTube channel, or you want to share more of your art in the world. You want to start posting your face, start talking about stuff. You want to share a song or a dance, and you feel nervous about it. That anxiety and that fear of judgment is kind of holding you back. So the process I went through was a very gradual process. It's going to take time to get used to it, like anything, and it's gonna feel weird, it's gonna feel off, it's gonna feel awkward at first, just staring at a camera and talking to it, or sharing just any of your creations. You're putting it out to the world for other people to look at it, something probably personal to you, but your art was meant to be shared anyway. Your creations, although personal and close to you, help the world and help people because it's your perception of the world or your emotions or your personal experiences that's translated in your own unique way that makes it so special. You know, when you think about a piece of music you really resonate with deeply on a soul level, there's a reason why it makes you feel that way. And imagine a world where all of your favorite artists, creators, writers, filmmakers, singers, dancers, imagine a place where they were all too afraid to express themselves or show what they've created to the world. Imagine a world where they didn't. Now that would be so depressing. Because music, I'd say mainly music and film, is what got me through a lot of stuff. It's what got me in touch with certain emotions I didn't really know how to process or communicate or understand. And all these creations created by artists I look up to, I look up to them so much because they're brave enough to choose a position of vulnerability, of putting themselves out there and creating, no matter how unrealistic or against what their family and friends wanted them to do. Sometimes it's even dangerous for creators to say a certain thing or put out their art, because it's some societies are structured in a way where you're only allowed to have certain opinions and certain viewpoints, and if you hold an idea or thought that goes against it, then you become ostracized, and that's a reality for some people in the world, unfortunately. So I believe that these artists and creators, we're here to revolutionize the world. We're here to help the world evolve into greater thinking, into more expanded awareness of ourselves, of the people around us, of our relations, of the earth, of what it means to be alive and exist and feel deeply. The role of the creator is so incredibly important, and we kind of live in a society where we don't really prioritize them. I want to tell you about my own personal journey when it came to creating. About 5 years ago now, I went on this spontaneous trip to Austin, Texas, and one of the realizations I had over there was that I wanted to start vlogging and taking YouTube a bit more seriously. I'm just gonna say this now so that I force myself to do it later, but I'm gonna start doing vlogs. I've been thinking about it for a while, and so many signs on this trip is pointed towards just starting it, just doing it. So I'm just gonna do it. Although I didn't really fully take it that seriously back then, it was a catalyst for me to start posting my thoughts and ideas and my music out there. And although it was a scary thing for me to do, I knew I wanted to do it. I knew that was just part of the next level of my life. Yeah, so I started making YouTube videos talking about just like anything that came to mind, really. At first, it was scary because I have a lot of family and friends who've known me for a long time on these platforms, and you know, the thought of them watching what I'm doing or finding out what I'm thinking about, it was kind of weird to me, but I knew that if I were to hold myself back because of all that, I would just regret it. It's either I start now or I wait until when. Like, I think we're always trying to wait for the right moment, the perfect moment, when we have the equipment that we want, when things feel right. Sometimes it's not gonna feel perfectly right. Like, the conditions are never gonna be perfect for you to start. You just have to begin. And you most likely have a phone in your hand right now. You have the means already to put yourself out there. It doesn't have to be some sort of elaborate creation. I think people get kind of tripped up in perfectionism, and I've definitely been one of those people, and I still can be nowadays. So many of my friends, one of their biggest challenges with putting themselves out there is that they feel like they need to be perfect, or they feel like they got to get the right camera, lighting. But honestly, if you have a story to tell, if you got an awesome dance move that you want to share, if you have a song that you wrote that's really close to your heart, you don't need any fancy equipment. I promise you. It's more important to get your stories and creations and your music and your dancing and whatever you want to share out to the world at the beginning stages. For me, like when I started on YouTube, I would post and I'd literally get like 5 to 10 views per video. Of course, like I felt a little discouraged. I still don't get that many views, but I realized that the whole process, the whole journey of me showing up anyway and pressing record and talking to the camera allowed me to like practice my craft. It's about like practicing and being consistent with it and doing it because it's enjoyable to you. And the point is that it's enjoyable. And even back then, like if I made like one person's day with a video I made or music that I shared, I'd feel pretty good about it, you know? I'd be like, you know what, I made someone's day. That's great. I know in this culture we kind of emphasize the number of likes and the number of views over a lot of things. And although to some degree there's validity to the quantity, the amount of attention you get, but we've overemphasized the amount of attention that we get rather than the quality, like the quality of impact. You know, back then I didn't have, and I still don't have, a large audience. But when I started getting random comments from strangers saying that like this helped them in some way, or thanks for posting this, like you should post more, just like little bits of encouragement like that. Honestly, that's what kept me going, you know? It's like the fact that I just love talking. I love expressing my thoughts and ideas, sharing them with the world in hopes that, you know, someone could get something out of it. It feels very freeing for me too, because I don't really get to talk in this way with everyone in my life all the time. But in front of the camera, I feel like I can just be myself. So yeah, I would say share your creations, because whatever you want to say, whatever you want to show to the world is important. It just is. And it doesn't really matter what it is, how good it is. Honestly, the art and the music that have impacted me very deeply has been the most raw and authentic and unfiltered stuff that didn't have to go through all these filters and effects and editing. And it's the rawness that people, I think, need right now, because for way too long now, we've just been inundated with all this over-polished, overly transcripted material that is just soulless and is all for for attention, you know? People just want attention, and everyone wants attention. I want attention. Who doesn't want attention? But like, but I think right now people are just yearning for realness. How real can you dancing in your bedroom be? A poem that you wrote coming out of a really painful breakup. It's like all these creations help make us feel more connected and like we're not alone. It's a very cathartic thing to witness another person's creations, another person's emotional processing through their art. It's so beautiful to me, and that's why you need to create and put yourself out there, no matter what it looks like. Throw out the idea of perfection, okay? Paradoxically, whatever you do put out is already perfect in the way that you made it, you created it. It's you, it's raw, and it's just you, you know? I've been through that discouragement time after time after time when I didn't get the attention or validation or amount of views or comments or whatever that I wanted on my creations or my videos or whatever. But the point is, ultimately, is to share because it sets your soul free. It sets you free. That's what it really comes down to, I'm realizing now. I'm also talking to the camera because it makes me feel more in touch with myself, especially making music for me. When I write a song and I sing it and I play it back, I'm like, wow, this is a symbolic representation of how I feel. And I begin to start knowing myself better. It feels so relieving and cathartic and just amazing. And getting to share that with my friends and family, as vulnerable as it is, feels very scary for sure. Because, you know, I don't always get positive feedback, and that's not really what you want anyway. You want honest, truthful feedback, because how else would you grow, you know? There's always room for improvement in what you do in your craft, and also it helps to just show someone that you're close to first. Show your friends and family, show your inner circle first, your creation. Slowly and steadily, you gotta kind of face that fear. I mean, the only way out of fear is through it. So you just, when you feel nervous, when you feel afraid to do something, that's an opportunity for growth. It's an opportunity to get over that fear. You know, remember when you were a kid and maybe you were so afraid of riding a two-wheeled bike after, you know, riding a tricycle for so long? It's really scary. But like, you know, the more you do it, the more second nature it becomes and the better you'll get at it. So share with the world because it feels good to, and it helps the world. You're helping beautify the world in your own unique way. So whatever it is you want to share, write, talk about, sing, dance, we need you to do it. No pressure. All right. Bye.